So good morning all. So this is Murli, Vice President of Tamil Nadu Safety Professional Welfare Association. So welcome you all to this Tamil Nadu Safety Professional Welfare Association's next round of webinar. That is third one in this year. So today we'll be going through the session on process safety management by Mr. Narasimhan. So just about the speaker, Mr. Arun Kannan will do the welcome. Before that, just want to brief about this association. So Tamil Nadu Safety Professionals Welfare Association is a not-for-profit type of association. It is specifically focused on the welfare of the safety professionals in Tamil Nadu specifically. And we are having this kind of engagement sessions once in every 2 months. And we are also having e-magazines getting released once in a quarter, so that we enhance the knowledge of the safety professionals around. And this is a very unique and specific topic on process safety management, which every safety professional need to know. So that is the reason we arranged for one of the veteran in this field. So Narasimhan is going to handle that session for us. So with that, I would hand over to Mr. Arun Kannan to do the introduction of the speaker. Arun, please.
Very good morning, one and all. So as Sir said, I would like to introduce our speaker, Mr. Venkatachari Narasimhan, who is having 36 years of experience in Coromandel International Limited, and he has retired as a senior executive operations. He is having a vast experience in chemical industry and has done numerous assignments. Especially, he is excelled in conducting hazard risk assessment, safety audit, and vast experience in process safety controlling techniques in both mechanical as well as in equipment and instrumental side. So in spite of that, he is also a consultant and advisor to ESH for World Bank in recent times, and has written numerous articles and magazines to IIT, OSH, and other international parties and associations. So he is also a member of American Institute of Chemical Engineers, American Safety Professional Association, and Safe Video of Safety Engineers Canada. And recently, he is also a member of association from America. So this is a small introduction about the webinar speaker, and it's more there are more things to introduce about the speaker, but I don't want to take much time in introducing him. Let me hand over the session to the speaker, and I would request all the participants to mute themselves, and as a coordinator, Mr. Jyoti, kindly mute everyone so that we can have a nice discussion, and we can take the knowledge sharing session in a great way.
Yeah,
so
thanks.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.
Thanks, Arun, for the introduction. Just one announcement. So for the uninterrupted session, we will have the session from Mr. Narasimhan. At the end of the next 1 hour, we will have the Q&A session. So in case you have some queries, please put your queries in the chat box. So at the end of the session, we will take any queries or questions from all of you. Thank you very much. Sir, over to you, sir. Narasimhan, sir. It's all yours. Thank you.
What I'm going to talk about me, a few words. I'm a professionally qualified engineer and joined AD Parry Limited. Now it is Coromandel International Limited, and worked in different capacities and different. At last, I retired as a senior executive manager position, and I was with Rom Safety Consultant for about 7 years, and then now I'm having my own consultancy. Different accolades came from so many choosers from World Bank, World Academy of Sciences, and World Economic Forum at Davos. I am a consultant for so many firms. I am now at it. It's my 50th year. It is my 43rd webinar throughout globe and in India. So that is I am very proud of myself and Tamil Nadu. I am also a member. I have become a member some 1 month back. I am proud to say that I am associating with Tamil Nadu Safety Professionals Welfare Association to give me an opportunity to present this session. It is not an easy task in present day world. Process safety is a very difficult subject to understand. What has happened? Some 100 years ago, nobody knows what has happened. So I just want to tell you about how OSHA was born, how things were taken to this level in the year from 1912 to 2022. So in 1912, the first industrial revolution took place and a lot of accidents happened. So there was nothing was available. 40 machines were installed and a lot of gases, poisonous gases, emanating from the chimneys. People do not know what kind of action they can take. They were not knowing what to be done and what not to be done. People were dying. So many things happened. So in between 1914 to 1919, the First War came. The German Kaiser invaded Belgium and so on. So the Belgium was the cockpit of Europe. From there he invaded the entire Europe and he landed in trouble in Russia. That was the lost. He succumbed to the Allies' pressure and went away. So that was the occasion. They could not do anything. Then the second revolution, 1925, came into being. And the same problem occurred. A lot of machines were installed. The same old story. People were dying due to so many gases. So the people they know what to do, but they were not able to do. In the meantime, the German Hitler invaded. The World War II came into being 1939 to 1945. That was over. Then United Nations was born to control the whole of world. So the people were able to know. They were educated, wanted to do something about safety. They realized something could be done, should be done. That is the situation they had. It was alarming. Lots of people, not alone. Then came the Air Act Amendment in 1990. Before that, I want to tell you the three major accidents took place in Bhopal. 2,000 people died. And then 3 Mile Island disaster. In city, people because of the radiation got affected. And then Phillips Petroleum Company, then Texas refinery blast. Some 123 people were killed. So these are the factors that led to OSHA. The people were thinking how to do it. Then the Air Act Amendment came in 1990. So they wanted to do something. The United States of Labor. So they conducted a series of meetings between 1990 to 1992. So there were a lot of inquiries, a lot of pages involved, a lot of people were engrossing the queries, and then came the OSHA, came into Spain. It was in Washington, D.C. OSHA was conceived. They made it compulsory for USA and Europe. Then came Middle East and in India. 2020 it was made in Parliament. as a compulsory. So what is catastrophic consequences? What has happened in Bhopal? Most of the people may not be knowing what has happened. When I saw in the paper in 1984 in the morning, I saw that, and I was in Mylapore, where I was staying. When I read the paper, when I came over from the factory, saw that 2,000 people were died because I was working in the same chemical industry for about 15 years. I have passed since I got my job there. So I was astonished to see how it has taken place. So most of the people may be knowing what has happened, but they do not know the history of things. I am telling you, 1967. I just give you 10 minutes for because people have to know what has happened. People may not know the catastrophe, how it has happened in the Bhopal. So people think that is 2,000 people died, gas leaked out. That is not the thing. It is a purely management misnomer. Is this happening? In 1967, Bhopal, and they had two plants, Union Carbide, the American MNC. They have installed two plants, one at Jammu and another at Bhopal. So they wanted to manufacture civet, the pesticide. It was so they were using rice tankers to transfer the MIC liquid to the Bhopal plant, and then they were manufacturing saving pesticide. So what they wanted to shift to Bhopal itself. In 1979, 76, they started preparing for the plant. In 79, it came its B. They wanted, they have started manufacturing saving the product pesticide. Lot of this happening took place. Union compliant to the management. The management didn't care for that. 23 people got injured while they went for the scrubber cleaning without any PPE. Then one chemical engineer got burned 30%. It positive. That was the situation happened. So what happened was in the morning of December 4, 1984. So there were three tanks in which B 609, 611, 605. So two of the tanks, they will never fill the MIC liquid to the brim. They will have it only off of it, around 30 to 40 tons on both the three tanks. It is a submerged atmospheric storage tank. Above the liquid, it will be kept at -2 degrees centigrade. Above that, nitrogen blanket has to be given. So they have emptied the two tanks, 609 and 611. The only remaining was 605 vessel 600. They were not able to push the liquid to the top because nitrogen blanket was not given. So that night, what has happened was, before that, they have removed the refrigeration system was not working because they could not get freon gas. Then flat system removed from the scene. Flare was not working. Only this. They wanted to manufacture in spite of all difficulty. From the tank, they wanted to push the liquid to manufacture. On the night of December 4th, MIC liquid was placed in the tank for about 30-40 tons. What the management has compliant, a rogue worker was compelled to suspended because of his disorderly behavior before the day, or that's December 3rd. Union says because of the mismanagement, it has happened. Nothing. Because you will have what will have in a chemical factory, you will have a lot of hydrant points. What has happened that day? the rogue worker who has put those on the fire red line and connected to the bottom of the tank. Knowingly, unknowingly, nobody knows. So water seepage through the bottom of the tank and started from 30 degrees because you will have atmospheric temperature is 30 degrees. Suppose you put the water into the tank, it has seeped through the bottom of the tank and got entangled with MIC liquid at -2 degrees. So vigorous reaction took place. So because of the reaction, vigorous reaction, it slowly started boiling off. So on the night of December 4, it was showing 10 psi. The people were asked, two instrument people were asked to check the instrument, but it was showing 10 psi. They said it's okay. Then went. So it started because of the boiling of the atmospheric temperature and -2 degrees. So vigorous boiling took place, and slowly it was showing 40 psi. So at 12:30, there was supervisor asked a worker to go and check the top of the tank. When he saw that the slab which was placed on the tank was broken, so they said after tea time we will have it. But the fate has happened. So at 2:30, that vigorous boiling of because of that, MIC started blowing through the PRC. PRC was not serviced for years together. So what has happened? PRC opened up from between 2:30 to 4:30. The gas leaked out to the atmosphere. Lots of people started coughing. The eyes got blurred, and in the meantime, lots of people passed away. Then it was reported at 4:30 in the morning to the nearest police station. By the time they wanted to make all the arrangements to evacuate. Everything has happened. So lots of people died. 25 people end up knowingly or unknowingly 25 people in the meeting. So that was the situation happened because no nitrogen jacket was given. PR was not in place. It is not serviced. If PRC works, it was serviced at 1.5. When it releases, it should be reset at 1.15. That has not taken place. So that is the calamity has taken place. The management has not taken care of process safety management. So that's one of the incident, that major incident that led to OSHA. People thought of it, and they have the USA because the management itself from serious steps. Then I can also tell about another small incident. Then when it was December 6th, William Alexander Jr. was allowed to fly to United States by then government of India. Then out of court settlement, $450 million were settled, but it has not only gone. The middleman took the money. Now it is still in the court of international Netherlands. The people are fighting through the union. So that is the situation. How
Your voice is not audible, sir. Are you speaking? Arun?
Sir, it's audible. Sir, it's okay now.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you. Yeah. Sir,
safety is a relative freedom.
sharing Nendratha, Arun. Please reshare.
Just a moment, sir.
Yeah. Arun, are you able to share?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do it fast, please.
It's okay now.
Yes, visible. Put it to full screen.
It's okay, sir.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Narasimhan sir, please continue. Thank you.
So what is, I am talking about what is safety. Safety is a relative freedom free from fire or disease or floods or by any other means of accident. What is disease? Suppose if you have floods, what has happened in 2015? What a lot, the Madras is flooded. Lots of people were affected because of the disease, pandemic, what is it, endemic, become pandemic, become endemic because of cholera and other diseases. So safety should be there. So stormwater drain should be perfect. Fire. If there is any fire in the factory, you must have fire hydrant pond to mitigate the fire. There should be fire safety alarm should be there. Then you have to take on-site emergency, off-site emergency. You have the disaster management. So these are the basic outline. Suppose if fire happens in a gated community and also in a factory, or whether it's a process factory or is a batch process factory or a mechanical factory, anything, you must have fire accident, disaster management team should be there to mitigate the accidents or any floods. Then everything has been. Suppose, example, when you walk on the road, suppose you trip and fall on the pavement is the personal safety. Suppose you are crossing the interjunction. Suppose you see the amber light, you stop. When you get the green circle and walk on the road, you cross the yellow road. Suppose you don't do that, what will happen? If you cross the amber, when the amber light comes and you get injured, you lose your life. So personal safety is an important item, whether it is personal or anything. It's a big factory. Managers should take care of the personnel, and in retrospective, management has to take the operating personnel or management staff or other. What is risk? Risk means specific effect with specific period of time due to complex of probability and consequence of vulnerability. You don't know. Suppose you're going on a highway in a car. A man crisscrosses. In order to avoid him, what you do? You steer a wheel to the right or left. To avoid accident. Suppose on the chest, there will come and save you. Suppose you don't have that air bubble, you in the process you get into, or the man who crisscrosses it hit, that is hit and run. So you got to watch when you go on the highway, you must take care of yourself. To complex, because we may not, because in Western countries anything, nothing will happen. Because I've been to United States in the year 2006, I've seen so many people. They are whoever, whether they cross the road or not, when the amber light comes, they stop. Whether people cross the yellow line, they don't care. They stop when the amber light comes and give us sick, then only cross the road. That is the thing they have. India is not such kind of things happen. People will crisscross the road and so many mishappenings. You must take care of yourself. So the complex of probability may not know what will happen. Consequence of vulnerability, what will happen after that. So you have to think while you drive the vehicle. You should be taken care of. It should be now it's the controlling factor is risk. Safety and risk are brothers and sisters. If you have safety enforced, risk can be avoided. That doesn't mean if you don't have a safety, risk cannot be avoided. So hazard, which can be of anything, or change, whether it is a physical hazard or chemical hazard or biological hazard. So lots of gases are operating from the chimneys, should be controlled. In a factory, when the chimney is coming out, I have visited in 1970 when I went as a trainee to start a small industry. I went round through the Department of Technical Education and they have taken me. There, and Manali New Town was not there. Everything was clean, speck and clean. Now a lot of houses have sprung up. So they people are getting affected because of that, because of the nearby. They have a lot of houses have sprung up. The government has allowed, and now people are crying over the smoke and smog and so many things. They get a lot of diseases. That the government should have avoided this kind of immigration to the places. Then environment means pollution from air. Delhi is a polluted city because why? Because a lot of haystack is being burnt in Haryana and Punjab. It's coming out to Delhi as a smog. That gets polluted the entire city. That now it has been avoided. This haystack is being burnt and there it's all. They do it, they burnt in the roads. Now it is being curtailed to some extent. But still the smog is coming over to Delhi. Even it has come during the Pongal holidays. I have seen on 13th of January, I have seen a lot of smoke coming from northern side to Chennai. So there I am telling about small introduction before going to the objective. If you have proactive management, you can plan the execution of the things. You can do the safety work related plant shutdown or anything. You can do it accordingly. If it is an active management, when the accident happened, then only they will analyze everything. That leads to a lot of consequences. So you have to avoid. The active management should be avoided. Then preemptive management. Preemptive management, you must have things in force. They will have it before. You have to do hazard study before commissioning and after commissioning. What are the consequence sequence existing proposed? They will all sort of things to do that. That is should be there. So I am coming to organic safety. The organic safety of the management, conviction, compassion, communication, and humility, and humanity. What is conviction? The management has to be should have conviction to start the plant when it is necessary. If they deviate from safety, then that will cost you millions of dollars. So safety, the conviction, they should have the conviction. Safety in force. At any cost, they must do the safety work. Safety, even if it is gas is leaking or through the pipeline, they have to shut down the plant, do the necessary work, then only start the plant. I give you a small example. Where I was working in 1983, what happened was in a gas purification unit, gas purification 2, the then production manager, I don't want to tell me, he became a big guy in Goenka, RGB group. What he said was saturated cooler. The gas is coming from crude gas consists of CO2, H2, and coming, it is being processed and absorbed in saturated cooler using hot steam or condensed steam, where he misled the operating personnel and the management. So the CO2 reacted with H2O, hot condensate, and carbonic acid formed and eroded the material. In the retrospective, what has happened? That saturated got blast in the night at 2:30, the same day on which the 1984, it has happened in 1982, December 3rd. I was in charge of the plant. Immediately, I took all the precautions, shut down the plant, purged the naphtha cracking unit, nitrogen was put to reactor and took the gun and the scrubber wash, and I took all the precautions. Had they done safety precaution, that would have been awarded. So that was the situation. So conviction of the management should be there. That he didn't have that because the production manager, he was a chemist. What he knows about process. Now he became a big guy. He passed away or BG Goenka. So conviction, compassion. When a worker is doing some mistake, you must have some compassion. He should be realized to give an opportunity to realize his mistake, and the management has to take lean in it, and he has to be improved by giving a lot of training. Then he will become all right. That is a compassion. What is communication? Communication between the management and the staff and the worker. You must have toolbox talk with the manager and the worker and the supervisors. That should be done every fortnight. That will solve the problem of, so the safety can be regulated at even at odd hours if you do have toolbox stuff. Then what is humility? Humility, one, if your manager, if he posts himself, he cannot have things to get the extract work from the workers. He must go and tell the people how to do things. What he knows, the people who knows, they should go to the lower level and talk with the people. He should not sit at the AC room and ask the people to come and talk to them. He must go to the worker level and talk to the people without any humility. You should not get boast. One who cannot boast of himself. Then humanity should be there. If there is a proverb, humanity at sea. You should have humanity, or you have to treat all the workers, right from the general manager has to treat all the workers, covenanted staff, everybody equal. Then only you can extract the work. So that is the thing. Creating awareness among employees and process. So you have to develop positive behavior. There is a behavior-based safety is there. If you have positive character, you will have positive mind, you will positive thinking and positive word. If you have negative character, you will have negative thinking and negative word. So you should not allow the person to have negative thinking. You should have only positive thinking. If a man comes from home, he should have talk about only positive mind to come to the work spot and do his work positively. He should not think about his home. When you go home, you should not talk. You should not think about factory. So that should be, you should have positive thinking. So everybody, they developing positive about among people to control process industry related work. To identify the processes that, suppose this ammonia is being manufactured, what are the processes that comes under the ammonia? Whether what is the upper limit, what is the lower limit by explosion, explosive limit, what are they, whether it is a gas, what are the temperature, how when it releases, what will happen. You should know all these things, even from worker to general manager. So if we want to start ammonia production, they should have what is ammonia, what are the ingredients, what is by nitrogen, what is hydrogen, how they manufacture, the related process, the related safety work they should have. So to prevent any adverse effect, that will increase the reputation and success of the business. That will also help if you force, if your safety is enforced, you can avoid risk. Because if it's in ammonia plant, lot of risk. Because I have been working in ammonia plant for 26 years, 20 years, from ammonia stream to ammonia terminal, all the things I write from A to Z. I know what is related safety, what is safety. So I worked like a bull and came out of the institution and joined the safety organization, and I am of my own running Narasimhan Safety Consultancy. I am doing a lot of things. That is the 43rd webinar where I am teaching people process safety. Arun Kandana, he also wanted me to talk about process safety in his independent manner. I just told him I was obliged to give him some tips on process safety. I also, so many people have asked me, I am going to take classes about process safety. So we have to fulfill the legal requirement. Zero injuries, mission is zero, zero tolerance, zero compromise, and zero impact for communities. So when you have zero injury, people will have contractors, which will have happiness. Zero tolerance, it is you can avoid unsafe behavior and act. Zero compromise if you have good on safety. Zero impact, our family and community will be happy. So I am coming to the major point. What is webinar on process safety management? We have got major commitment, management commitment, process safety management, starting with process safety information, process hazard analysis, operating procedures, training, contractors control, startup safety review, mechanical integrity, hot water problem, management of change, incident investigation, and emergency planning and response. That is called industrial data management, compliance audits, trade secrets, employees involvement. So we'll come to the first, what is the problem? Develop an on return safety information, identifying the workplace, chemical process, hazard equipment used in the process and as well. What is developed? You have to return SOP, standard operating procedure, to start. If anybody comes to the plant, suppose they ask you, what is the process safety information? What will you do? When I went, I'm giving you a small example, where I visited in 2019, July, March, I visited Chettinad Cement. It's a big factory comprising of so many millions of dollars were poured into start the factory and is running. It is a lot of cement is being done. A lot of cement is being manufactured and being exported to so many countries. But there was no SOP in any of the plant for that matter. I told them, this is the kind of thing do they have. I scolded them. Even the general manager who knows me very well. I said, Narasimhan, what can I? You are the person, you have to do things. You have to do. What is the process safety management? SOP should be there in the panel. Whoever is it, they should take, and it is a just kind of religion. So that is the thing. A lot of factories are like that. Perform your workplace as a statement, including identification of potential reasons, accidental release. That had a potential. What will be the consequence and sequence? Suppose the gas leak out from ammonia plant, or from sulfuric acid plant, or from fertilizer plant, and so on and so forth. You must know. You identify the situation, explore the problem, set goals for that. What you have to find alternative, what kind of things we can, suppose anything happens, untoward thing happens, you have to do alternatives. Select the things, and implementation should be pakka, and you can evaluate if anything untoward things happen. This is what the problem is. You have to evaluate. It is called the problem cycle. Identify, explore, set goals, alternative, implement, and evaluate. How the standard work. Establish a system for the workplace hazard assessment, finding which shall present it, prevention, mitigation, emergency responses. Establish system. You must have some system to establish what are the hazard assessment. Suppose if it is ammonia. It is hydrogen sulfide. Suppose you are starting the plant, you must have standard operating for long shutdown. What will happen? If there is an emergency shutdown, what will be the consequence sequence existing in proportion? If it is a power shutdown, what we have to do? There are so many things. It's just not to run a plant or in a mechanical factory or there is a chemical factory or batch-wise probably. Recently, I visited Cipla. They don't know what is. They don't know what to formulate with ammonia. They were keeping it in vertical cylinders, or were keeping it straight. They were not able to get gas for the last 4 years. They were applying hot water over the cylinder and get something, but they were spoiling the entire thing. They were not able to get the gas. I went there for such audit last month, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9. I gave a small suggestion. That's all. I talked with Daniel, who was the technical head and unit head of the plant. I told him, you place the ammonia cylinder tangentially, you will get off of the gas from the cylinder. Because of the chemistry, physical chemistry, if Joule-Thomson effect takes place from high pressure to low air pressure, automatically gas will evolve from liquid to gas. Then if the off of the liquid emptied out, you can place the cylinder on the ground, you can take out the entire liquid. So you have to review the hazard assessment, how to do things and response system. To understand PSM and its requirement, employees and employers are hard to understand how OSHA uses the term to mean actually involving highly absorbed chemical. So people should understand what is OSHA. So the people have, or at the hem of affair, they try to contact the workers and the supervisors have to go to the plant, tell the people how the OSHA is being adopted in a phased manner. So the first company which I was working, Coromandel International, so we have adopted in 1995. The OSHA system was what put into place. So one of the best factories ever is Burgappa Group. We had a lot of plants at Ennore, Kokinada, 1 and 2, and then Vizag, and then Ponipat plant, then Bharat Pulverized at Bombay. Yeah, and then Ronipet. No accident has taken place so far after the implementation of OSHA, that is process safety management system. So process safety information. Employees complete a compilation of written process safety information, whether it is ammonia terminal or sulfuric acid plant or phosphoric acid plant. Everything should be complementation of written process safety information. Whoever comes to the plant, if there is an operating personnel who has got some problem, I want to notify the problem, he has to refer the compilation of written procedures. That you should have process safety information on the file. Before conducting any process by the standard, if anything happens, if any leaks or anything, so he has to refer how to do things. If there is a power shutdown, suppose if it is a long shutdown, process compilation will be there. It will be in the side. How to do things when there is a long shutdown or emergency shutdown and power failure. They will also have information of the highly hazardous chemical. How to use them? Suppose you want to start a pump, carbonic acid pump, carbonate pump, or STS pump, that is hydrogen sulfide pump, because both are that is hazardous chemicals. If you use them, you will have how to start the pump physically. That lot of information would have been given. So that is the process compilation. That is the ended process, safety process and standard operating procedure. That will be there. Information about the equipment will also be there. So process chemicals, process technology, and process equipment. It is called process safety information. What is process hazard analysis? Process hazard analysis. That means, suppose if it's ammonia, what will be the thing? Then is it hazard for highly hazardous chemicals? The employer must follow the methods. A process hazard analysis under hazard study they will do. Failure mode effect analysis, poultry analysis. I am just coming to small pep talk about these three things. What is hazard? Hazard means, suppose want to commission a ammonia turbine. What they did was 1996, where I was the process in charge of the plant. What they did was we took about 6 people, consists of process engineer, supervisors, operating personnel, and then general manager, instrument engineer, and the people who are going to install the plant, they also included. So we studied hazard. Suppose any equipment. So we will do the analysis before commissioning and after commissioning. It's a big plant, consists of the atmospheric storage tank consists of 12,500 metric tons voluminous, because it is double integrity tank, outside and inner side. Inner side is the inner cup. It stands on 279 pillars, where the storage tank stands 26.454 meters. Inside that suspended deck is 4.54 meters. Between outer tank and inside tank, so 15 mm vacuum that is inside. So because the ammonia is kept at minus 30 degrees centigrade, when it gets evolved because of the atmospheric temperature, it slowly ammonia gas will evolve. That will go to the between the outer tank and the inner tank. So that 15 mm. That we can take out the liquid. With condense, we will take out the liquid from the bottom. So we analyze absorb has been done. So to absorb, there are so many things. You must have, this is the synonym, more MLA flow. So that is called more flow, less flow, as well as part of reverse and next. So according to volume, temperature, pressure, and flow, you have to analyze a lot of things. For commissioning, what will happen before commissioning, after commissioning, existing consequence, what will happen after commissioning, what will happen, sequence, what will be the sequence? Where suppose if there is a controller, you pass the liquid, what will happen before the upstream? What will happen after the controller minute? Because the controller is about 50% opening, what will be the thing after? So you want to analyze upstream, downstream. You got to analyze every part by part. That is hazard. Consequence, sequence, existing proportion. If any pipeline wanted to, if it's a sealed pipeline, you have to do breakage. You have to break the pipeline, you have to give flanges, then you have to do hazard. Every 3 years, you have to do hazard on a plant. So it is a small thing I have told you. There are a lot of things, how to make things, how the process analysis will be obtained, how we have to do that hazard using synonym, no MLA flow, no flow, more flow, as well as pot of rivers and lakes. So there are so many. You have to do it. Even batch wise, mechanical, anything. HACCP is being done for software industry also, that is being done. Failure mode effective analysis. Failure mode effective analysis. So design, process. Before, suppose you want to design any equipment, you have to design. What is the process involved and product is involved. You have to make things. Suppose a car comes out of the plant. You wanted to do painting. Suppose the door is kept damaged because while it comes out of the plant, then you do painting then you have to analyze critical analysis. Damaged while it was coming through the pipeline. After a lot of things, when it comes to shape and you come for the painting section. So that you have to do a lot of criticality, design, process and product. So you have to analyze a lot of things. I cannot give you so much because it is only a symbol of thing I have given you. What is FMEA? Failure mode effect analysis. What is fault-free analysis? Fault-free analysis means if there is an incident, definitely accident will happen. That doesn't mean if there is an incident, accident has to happen. It was developed by Bell Laboratories in the year 1960. They have developed, so it was developed in the Bell Laboratories by so many people. So when it comes to things, process engineer, mechanical engineer, and so many people will come and discuss about incident that comes to fault tree analysis. They have to form a fault tree. They will develop a tree under which they will using algorithms, using natural number 0, 1, 2, 3 and complex numbers. Complex number 0, 1, 2, 3. Natural number 0 to 10. If I am telling you a small example where there is, you can do it. If there is an inlet, there is an outlet. If it's an inlet product, yeah, it is. If you have reactant, the product will come out in some other form. Because A plus B equal to C plus D. That is called Faraday. It is in chemical engineering thermodynamics, Arrhenius theory of equation. That is delta H equal to minus Q equal to minus EA by RT. Q equal to the energy of activation, E equal to energy of activation or by temperature and the constant 303 absolute. So a lot of things, active ingredients, A plus B equal to C plus D. I am telling you about in a gas purification. After the gas is coming out of naphtha cracking unit, it contains CO2 50, 40%, CO 40%, CO2 4%, H2 52%. When it reacts with steam, CO2, CO plus H2O in activated ferroso-ferric oxide catalytic reactor, that comes to hydrogen, H2 92%, and CO is getting absorbed, and CO is given nitrogen wash. So 92% will go to the nitrogen synthesis gas, and nitrogen will be taken from the compressor and go to the same reactor, catalytic reactor. There it is ammonia, and N2 plus 3H2 will give you twice molecules of ammonia. So likewise, this is what is called poultry analysis, how it is being analyzed.
Sir, we can take another 15 minutes, sir. Yeah.
முடிச்சிடுறேன். நான்
Please, sir.
நிறைய எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுத்தேன்.
So you can brush up, sir.
உங்களுக்கு operating procedures. The employer must develop important written operating procedures for initial startup and operating operations, temporary operation, emergency operation. So that This give you standard operating procedure for initial startup, for operating operation, temporary operation, emergency operation, what you have to do. If there is a long shutdown, what I have to do. Or for normal operation, what you have to do. Temporary operation, what are the things you have to make. And emergency operation, what you have to do. So this is operating procedure that should be in the panel. Employees participation. Employees participation helps to control the cause of the related risk. Employer must develop a written plan of action. The employer implement the employee's vision. Participation required by PSM. They should provide employees and their things, representatives, access to process-based analysis. Every employee, they should know what is the return of action. They should participate in the OSHA training required by the PSM. The management has to provide employees their representation in order to inculcate the process safety management system into their mind. Representatives should analyze what is the process-based analysis and to get the knowledge using PSM. Training. OSHA believes that the implementation of effective training program is one of the important steps to take. Hence, presently involved in the operation. People should know about the process and its procedure that employees have the required to operate the plant and its operating procedure. Training. The OSHA believes that implementation of effective training program is one. Process safety management is a must for all the employees, for all the categories, whether it's batch wise or mechanical or chemical or anything, electrical manufacturing. The OSHA believes that implementation of effective training under 14 element, then later on 17 element is a must. So that gives you an important item. If you know the knowledge of OSHA, you can be free from shackles. You can operate any plant. People should know about the process and its procedure when you know the OSHA. That employees have the required to operate the plant and its operating procedures. What is refresher training? Refresher training of OSHA had to be given every employee at least 3 years. They have to undergo all the things because if a man doesn't know anything about PSM, if he comes for the work, there is no need to come over. Very well, he can stay at home. So the people, the management has to, when they decide to have the knowledge of PSM, every employee has to undergo every 3 years or toolbox training every 15 days and 3 months quiz contest test, and just like that, they have to give so much training to the employees and the managers and the supervisors. And the general manager also has to know he should not get in feedback from the lower rank people. He should teach the people. That only he can be effective manager, or the general manager can be effective general manager to the managers as well. Training and documentation. So record of the employee must be containing their identity of the employee, the date of training, how the employee is verified that the employee understood the training. So if your man undergoes a process of gaining knowledge, he should attend the PSM training. Then you will have their identity marked, the date of training, how the employees, it will be verified by the management. Then if the employee understood the training, he'll undergo the test on an exact test. Then if he completes, he will be eligible for to operate the plant. That's what is happening in SPIC. They give 2 years training for the operators. If they come out successful, they will be put into plant. Otherwise, they will check them out of the curriculum. So that is the strict training. Where I had my training, I don't know anything. After my graduation in chemical engineering, straight away I was put in order to work overtime as operating staff. I know inlet and out because of my engineering background. Slowly I came as a skilled man and became a top guy after some years and rose to the position of senior executive manager level. And I enjoyed. Even I could have gone because of my family commitments. I could not go anyway. I went abroad for 3 years and came back and joined the same organization. And only thing I was given to study further. So documentation training there focused on what information, communication to organize into small-type actions, provide user-directed communication used as needed, focused on when, why, provide the individual context for task, may contain chunks of documentation, measured learning, and useful learning. So documentation should be there, training to be given based on these two factors. Then contractor. If they select a contractor, the contractor should know the process and thing. Then only the management take the correct person as a contractor. Then the contractor who selects the person, they should be adequate knowledge about the plant and the process because they have to undergo training then and there. One Mr. I don't know his name. He's a contract worker who's managing about 16 people in monoammonium phosphate plant. The regular employee will not know things, but contract employees, they know everything. They were running the show. Slowly, they have weeded out all the regular employees. They have put forth. Because of that, regular employment curtailed and contract system came into its existence. Now the Ennore plant is a big complex. Only 120 people, only regular employees in instrumentation, and there is no regular worker. All the regular workers are contract workers because they know the plant. They have worked for about 16 years, 15 years. So that is the situation. Only 120 people, including the top management. They are running the show, 1,000 workers. All the contract workers and mechanical instrumentation, no money. Only one people consists of officers and regular employees. Only 120 people manning the entire show now. So then the management can employ the workers, contract workers for the in case of emergency crisis. So they can be utilized. Employees responsible. Every contractor employee should evaluate and obtain information regarding the contractor employee on his safety performance. For that, they should have site a senior executive, site leadership, technical specialists to oversee the person, frontline supervisors, and frontline staff. So the contractor has to employ these kind of people to take care of the contract workers, how they work. That will be because the management can reduce the working staff for that matter. Contractors can be utilized for that. Pre-startup safety. Suppose you want to start up the plant, you must know the construction equipment according with design specification. Safe operation, emergency procedures should be in place. Construction equipment according with the design. Suppose you want to know, suppose in Amanattam is where I joined in 1996. I went and thoroughly studied the plant because I went as a senior man, senior officer. I studied the entire plant while we go in night shift to learn things. Then I became hot throbbing man that section. When I came out in 2008, I was the man who knows things. Then one problem cropped up. So because we were pumping the ammonia liquid to the plant, to the ammonia storage tank, where there was a leak in the Tadlov hose. while they were pumping. They were not able to retrieve ammonia. So after 6 years after my retirement, I was called at midnight 2013. They wanted to utilize my knowledge because I was very thorough with the plant because I worked for 10 years. Moreover, I'm a chemical engineer, professionally qualified, knowing a lot of things about the inputs and output, basic gradients, basics of the character of the knowledge of chemical engineering. So they called me at midnight by the J.M. Bakshi, Vice President, Mr. Raman. They could not do anything. They have checked everything. I immediately told them, you go and check your Dunlop hose connecting the ship. You will have NRV and quit wow. Either must be leaking. So they have went and dived and saw. So bonnet was leaking of the NRV, bonnet was leaking. So I asked them, stop the liquid pumping, go tomorrow morning. They have went and changed the bonnet. Then they pumped the liquid. Became all right. So that you should have that kind of knowledge about the plant, about the PSM, you should have. Safe operation, maintenance, emergency procedures should be. So that kind of knowledge you should have one we want to utilize this brain on PSM. Mechanical integrity. Mechanical integrity where you have to do any, because you have to, if it is a process plant or any equipment for the matter, you have to do mechanical integrity. They have to check the veracity of the equipment every 3 years or 5 years. If a pipeline goes from a tank to, when it goes to tank or in between, they have to check the stress, strain, everything they have to strike. Thickness of the material using what we call it, healthy crop, healthy scope. You have to find out the thickness and then stress analysis, stress tachometer. You have to see all these things. You have to see that, and if there is a thickness goes down, you have to replace it. What I told was what has happened in 1983. There was nothing because process safety was not available at that time. Because of that, that happened in 1983 by the full body production manager. He doesn't know anything about it. So I have to say that word because he doesn't know anything. He became a top guy in RPG Coimbatore. He's a chemist, joined in DCW, came as a process manager, and then went on to become top guy, become a president of the company of RPG Coimbatore. He doesn't know anything because he is only a chemist. What he knows about? What has happened in 1964? The same thing happened in Barry. People with background recommendation, they came as a manager, production manager. He came and there was a shutdown. They wanted to make it, they wanted to take out the gun. They could not do it. So what he said was, you have to put nitrogen. Instead of that, he asked us to put because I was at that time I was in school. They have done it. Air has merged with air. Then there was a big blast came out. The top of the head came and went and landed in the colony after 3 or 4 kilometers. So that has happened. So you have to see mechanical integrity and knowledge of the person to how the things are. Hot permit system. Hot permit should be used for hot permit operation. Conducted an overhead process. The permit must dominate the fire protection, etc. Regulation are being implemented. If there is a green permit, anybody can give. You can give to a worker, technician, and he can come and if there is a gland leak, the pump they can do it. If there is a hot permit, suppose you want, if you want to take out a vessel, if you want to clean the vessel, you have to keep hot permit. If there is, you have to do thickness of the vessel, then you have to do hot permit. You should be given welding. For that, you have to do analysis. the oxygen, what will be the L, what is the upper limit, higher limit? Then you have to put air hose in that, and you have to do for welding. There is a lot of, you have to purge with nitrogen, then put the hose. Suppose we have took in 2007, 8, 9, we took ammonia tank decommissioning and commissioning. I was asked to do that because after my retirement, I went there as a process consultant and do the commissioning. First, we have removed all the liquid from the tank, purge it with nitrogen, and then asked the contractor, the wood people, and went and saw everything. They checked everything. There was everything was all right. Then we have commissioning. We have put hydraulic test. We have done 1.5 times the normal working pressure. That is 1.25 kg atmosphere. That is 2.25. They will be filled with the liquid, and then start putting nitrogen. Then ammonia slowly fed to the ammonia tank. That was the procedure we have done. So accident, that is management of change. If because we wanted to, when there was unloading problem, we came. We have pumped the liquid, management of change, impact of the change of employee safety and health, modification of operating procedure, necessary time period of the change, authorization requirement for the proposed change. We wanted to change because the liquid level it was 22.95 meters, whereas it has come to 22.90 meters. We could not pump the liquid because the high level switch transducer became faulty. Immediately we replaced with someone. We could not do it. Then we immediately called for meeting with the vendor, and so we have analyzed everything. We could not do higher level pumping. So we got the original equipment from the vendor, and replaced it and pumped the liquid. Before buying that, we analyzed with process manager, operating personnel, supervisor, general manager. So it is called management. If you don't get original equipment, if you wanted to change, you have to do management of change. That is called. You have to review the meeting, change requested, access risk of the change, or high risk changes if any, conduct depth hazard analysis, what will be the thing, identify hazard, modify design accordingly, implement change, conduct safety review, correct deficiencies. So these are the things you have to analyze before changing. The incident investigation. If there is an incident, you will have, I have already told you. So there is an accident happened. Cooling water pump, what has happened was, plant started getting fire at midnight, around midnight. We could not know because cooling water pump will not get any fire because the gland only it will come. It was getting fire because the condenser was leaking. Ammonia started leaking, came to the cooling tower. The cooling tower is getting pumped to the exchanger and so on. Because of the ammonia, it has got more than 300 ppm. Explosive, it has crossed beyond there. Explosive, fire started. Then put up the fire, stop the pump, and depressurize the unit. Everything we have done. Then we took condenser test. Then we analyzed a lot of ammonia was leaking. Then remove the condenser, we change it down the road. That is the thing. So date of incident, date of investigation have to begin. Description of the incident, how the fire was happened. Then you have to give it factors contributing the accident. Recommendation has to be given within 48 hours. Who, why, what, when, and where, how did it happen? Who are the culprit? Why happened? What could be done? When, why it has happened? How to rectify things? We have to analyze. So date of incident, date of investigation, began, description of the incident, issue of the factors contributing to the recommendation. You must have on-site emergency plan and off-site emergency plan. On-site emergency plan, if there is a leak, you have to report to the coordinator, general manager, the coordinator. He has to inform the concerned officer in the ship, then ask them to take necessary steps out to avoid this fire. It is called ISO 14001. So that is on-site emergency is called ISO 14000. So despite the best planning, incident occurrence is essential. Emergency pre-planning makes employees do proper action. So preparedness, mitigation, recovery, response, disaster. You have to avoid any leak or any problem if there is an incident. Avoid accident. You have to mitigate. The on-site emergency, if it happens inside the plant, it is on-site emergency. If it's outside, you have to off-site emergency. That you have to inform the police, hospital, and collector. You have to inform them. If there is inside, you have to inform the president of the company. You have to take necessary steps on-site emergency. On-site means you have, if there is a leak happened in the general shift, they have to move to the general assembly point. Then we can take out the proper measure. If there is a fire, we can put out the fire. If there is a leak, we have to contain it, and so many things. If it happens, when there is shipping, unloading, the gas, we vent the ammonia gas. People used to come out from the open, so it will go up to the tower. The flat tower is 40 meters. People used to come from Major and so many places. They crowd, they will talk all sort of things because they want to get the employment. Now I don't think that kind of atmosphere is not prevalent. So that kind of emergency planning response to that. The employers must certify, evaluate the professional PSM at least every 3 years. They collect information should be collected, on-site visit and documentation should be there. Or in the plan manager, each has to be visited by each employee and investigate how things will be implement the procedures and pros and cons. So, yeah. Thank you for giving me an opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Narasimhan sir, for taking us through a very interesting and yeah, I'm speaking around. Thank you very much, Narasimhan sir, for taking us through a very important and a critical topic.
Because I
am talking, Arun.
It is
Murali sir.
I'm talking. Are you not able to hear me?
Hello.
Are you able to hear me?
I am hearing.
Yeah. Maybe Arun is not able to hear. So thank you once again, Narasimhan sir, for taking us through this very important and critical topic. Maybe some of the safety professionals, though every one of us is qualified safety professionals in our forum, maybe, some of the aspects we would have possibly not touched in our day-to-day working life, but every element is critical. For example, whatever inputs I could take from your focus on the process safety management. We all are focused on the training elements, which anyway it is to be covered in every aspect. And in the erstwhile OSHA's 18001, we did not have the management of change. Maybe it was taken input from the process safety management, and that was added later, and that is part of the ISO 45001 today. And incident investigation, every one of us in our part of our professional life, we do undertake those elements into our fort. And on the emergency plan and aspects and the audits, compliance audits related, every aspect we touch upon that. May not be to the extent of how it is being done in a process industry. And of course, we do have in different industries the different minor processes or process-oriented aspects like storage facilities, maybe the treatment plants, maybe the paint shop, and different elements that we do. So in the fuel storage part, hazard study, and quantitative risk assessment, everything becomes applicable. Sir, there is one specific question which Mr. Manohar from ZF has asked. What are the requirements for checking the underground fuel tanks? So this is the specific question he has asked.
Period is it is atmospheric storage or anything. You have to see the veracity of things. You have to go through the SOP. What kind of tank, what kind of material what did was in underground tank, what has happened in Bhopal. They do not know why they could not pump the liquid to the prime. They were pumping the liquid only off of it. If there is if it's an ammonia tank, you should study about the characteristics of the material what you are going to put. In saturated cooler that happened. Actually, molybdenum steel should have been given for the saturated cooler. But what Mitsubishi was done, they have given carbon steel. What will happen when carbon reacts with water? Carbonic acid will form. Automatically eroded the material. Top there 26 mm, okay, bottom is 1 mm. So you should characteristic of the material, what is going to employ. Whether it is, you have to do all the safety analysis. You have to put the things. Basic characteristics of the material. What are the ingredients you are going to employ? Whether it is gas or liquid or anything for the matter. So you have to think about whether it is a sub-base tank or it is a upright atmospheric storage tank or anything. You should see that what kind of material you are going to put, what will be the optimum condition to operate the plant, operate the temperature, operate the pressure, either it is a atmospheric or above atmospheric. You have to see all sort of things. Process element should be there. You have to analyze a lot of things. That is
Thank you.
adoption.
Yeah,
That is
thank
adoption.
Yes, thank you, Narasimhan sir. So before I take up the second question, which is anyway about hazard study, I would request all participants to give your valuable feedback about the webinar so that we can organize further sessions in a more effective way. Please do that. I have got only 3 responses so far. So thanks for taking time to do that. And sir, the next question we have already more or less answered. The specific question is which industries are more effective to do HAZOP study? So that is the
Only
question from
chemical process industry and software industry.
And
And then aviation.
Right, sir. Anyway, on a smaller scale, maybe in industries which do have this storage and transfer of flammable liquids and fuels and other process elements for their use, there also it will be relevant. That's what I feel.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, sir. Maybe on a very smaller scale, but it is more relevant around that. Right. So that's a very interesting input. And one more thing I noted when you mentioned about how the management need to be groomed as a safety professionals, what we need to do around the management. 3 C's and 1 H you specifically mentioned about. The management should have the conviction to do and work towards safety and the compassion towards the people, whoever it may be, either an employee or a contractor or a trainee, doesn't matter. So that compassion should be built into the management, and communication, which is a very critical element in every kind of industry per se. And the last one you mentioned about humility. So which is also a very important element as far as the leadership is concerned. So this I thought I'll just reflect as part of the session around. So thank you once again, sir, for your inputs. And for people who are having any further queries and questions, Mr. Narasimhan is our own association's member. So you can feel free to connect, touch base with him to take his expertise. Maybe he mentioned for the storage tank element, he mentioned a lot many elements. Maybe Manohar, if you want, you can touch base with Mr. Narasimhan so that you can get real critical inputs from him directly. So take this advantage. He's our own member, so we can take that liberty of talking to him directly or messaging him so that we can get the right knowledge and the right kind of perspective for that. So with that, I would like to take the session to an end. Hope all of you enjoyed the session. And once again, requesting, please give your responses. It may take few seconds, maybe not more than 20 seconds for you to respond. So help us in growing the association into a much more effective way. So thank you, all of you, for joining in during your free Sunday period and taking 1.5 hour time for joining in for the session. Thank you very much. So we'll be coming up with further more sessions, 2 more sessions for the year to go. So maybe we are trying to bring one more physical session as quickly as possible so that we can all personally meet as well. So expect for some more interesting topics to come up. Thank you once again. All the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.